Overspending is so easy these days, especially how easy it is to order things directly to your house and you don't even have to leave your home. My name is Jess. I make personal finance content and I'm honored to talk to you today about how you can stop overspending. The fact that you're watching this video means you want to stop overspending, and I'm hoping I'll be able to help you out with that. I also want to mention some people that overspend may need a professional, may need therapy to get out of overspending, and sometimes some tips just won't help you. You really need to talk through problems of why you're overspending. But if you are not in that case and you kind of just want to reel in your spending, then these tips will be helpful for you. The first thing I'd recommend is to have a financial goal. One of the most important things when it comes to overspending is to actually have something you want more than you want the item you want to overspend on. Now, this financial goal can't be something that someone tells you to do. Let's say your parents want you to buy a house or your friends want you to go on a trip with them. It has to be something that you want and something you're willing to save up for. And the goal has to be more important to you than overspending, because you're choosing to save towards the goal instead of buying the things you want right now. It can be any financial goal that you want, but it has to be something that you want because you're the one that's saving your own money, and it has to be something that you want to look forward to and a goal that you want to achieve. If you have a problem with overspending, I'd recommend taking out cash every single month for your fun budget. Now, if you have a cash-based budgeting system, so you use cash envelopes, you're already doing this and this tip won't be helpful, but if you have, let's say, $100 a month that you allocate for fun spending, take that money out, put it in your purse, put it in your wallet, whatever you want to do. And when you're done that, you're done. There's no more fun spending, and you have to be disciplined with this, because if you just pull out your credit card, then it's not going to work. You need to really tell yourself that when this cash is out, that is it. There's no more fun spending or things that I want spending. And it's something that you really need to push yourself to be disciplined towards, because it can be very easy to just pull out a credit card or Apple Wallet and buy the things that you want in the moment. When it comes to overspending, everyone is a bit different. So you may overspend on clothing or makeup or video games. We all have different things that make us want to overspend. It could be going into a specific store, looking at a specific store online, or even just scrolling through our emails and seeing the new things that are available. It's really important to write down what you think your triggers are so you can eliminate them, because if you are going into stores that tempt you all the time, then that's going to be really hard to not overspend. So I think it's really important to know what your triggers are and get rid of them. Now, triggers can also be emotional. If you're feeling a certain way, maybe you want to shop, maybe it's not a specific store. So it's important to know yourself and know what tempts you for shopping and what you can do about that. So unsubscribe from email lists, unfollow accounts that tempt you for shopping, and stay away from stores and things that trigger you. Also, delete apps that you are very tempted to buy from. There's a lot of stores that have apps now, and it makes it very easy to shop, and sometimes they give you discounts on the app. So deleting those apps, unsubscribing from their email list, and unfollowing accounts that tempt you to buy things that you didn't even know you wanted. Going into stores can be very tempting, and I think it's really important to have a phrase or something you tell yourself when you see an item that you didn't think you needed or you didn't want until you saw it. Let's say you're at the store and you see a lotion that you think smells great, looks great, really nice, and then you would say, okay, I want to buy this. But then you have to think before you purchase it, do I need this item? In this case, it's a lotion. Do I need this item? No, because I have lotions at home. You have to think about all the things you have at home or things that you can use instead of the item you want to purchase. Another thing could be, do I have space for this item? Can I afford this item? If I buy this, am I not going to be able to reach my goals if I buy this item? Does this item really benefit me? Anything you think of should be a phrase that you tell yourself when you see something that you're tempted to purchase. When I see something I really want at the store, having something I tell myself, a phrase or a question, really helps, because then I take a second to think back if I really need the item. It can be as simple as, do I need this item? Do I have space for it? Or the ultimate question, can I afford it? Something I find very important when it comes to overspending is to have a budget. Now, you have to be disciplined with a budget and you have to actually use the budget for it to be useful. But if you don't have a budget, how do you know how much you're spending? How do you know how much you're making? And how do you know how much you can even allocate to fun things or allocate to savings or reaching your financial goals? I'm not going to get into which budgeting method I would recommend that you use, because everyone is so different and every single budgeting method is better suited for different people. So I'm not going to get into all of those, but I would recommend you have a budget so you do know if you're overspending or not. The next thing that is super important is to create a priorities list. What do you actually like to spend money on? Not what your friends like to spend money on, not what your family likes to spend money on, but what do you like to spend money on? What do you want to do with your fun spending? What do you want to prioritize? Because it's really important to understand what you want to prioritize when it comes to finances, because a lot of times we're just kind of spreading ourselves ourselves really thin and buying lots of different things that don't actually bring us value in our life. So I think it's really important to write down what your priorities are. Sometimes we overspend on things that aren't even valuable to us, that are trendy items that come and go and that we don't even care about, but we just want to fit in. So instead of trying to fit in with the next trend, what are your priorities and what do you like to buy? Some people love getting delivery food, and some people do not even care about getting delivery food, but they just do it because everyone else is doing it. Some people love fancy skincare, while some people just want to buy drugstore skincare. And it all depends on what your priorities are. So if you are overspending, you have to understand, what is my priority? If I have some money, am I spending that money on the things that I value, or am I just overspending on lots of different things that are trendy that I don't even need? A lot of times we're not even excited about the item, but we're excited about the anticipation of having that item more than we're excited about actually owning the item. Creating a wish list or filling an online cart sometimes gives us that dopamine effect we get when we actually receive the item. And sometimes that's all we need. We just get excited about having the item and owning it. Whereas putting it on a wish list is kind of like you own it, because you put it on a wish list, you have intentions to purchase it, and then sometimes you're like, actually, I don't really need the item because it's been sitting on my wish list and I'd rather put money towards something else. The next thing I'd recommend is time. Give yourself time before buying something you want that's an impulse. If you're overspending and buying impulses all the time, give yourself a rule that if I'm going into the store and I see something I want to buy that I never thought I needed before I saw it, to wait. So you can give yourself 24 hours, a week, a month. You have to figure out what time works for you. And then eventually you'll realize that, hey, I actually didn't need that item. I just got really excited when I saw it. And I'm so glad that I just waited, stopped, and gave myself time. Also, another thing I love to do is when I see an item in the store that I absolutely adore, I take a picture of it. Because for me, when I take a picture, I'm not leaving it there. It's almost like I'm bringing it home with me, even though I don't have to have the physical space or clutter to put that item that I don't need. But I have a picture so I can look back whenever I want to, and it kind of feels like I bought it. Now I want you to take a second and look around your room and see if there's anything you regret buying. I want you to pick up that items and figure out, why do I regret this purchase? Because at one point in your life, you wanted that item. A lot of times we get excited about having an item, we get so excited about using it, and then it just kind of sits somewhere. We own it, it just sits there, and we've spent money that we did not need to spend, and we've cluttered our homes. When I look around my room, I definitely see things that I regret purchasing, like a planner that I thought I was going to use and I haven't used, and it's almost the end of the year. So there's definitely things that we need to be aware of, and be aware of what we use and don't use. The most important thing is to have discipline and have a mindset shift. Now, this will take time if you're someone that overspends and impulse shops a lot, but it's really important for your budget, because getting into debt for items that you don't need and truly don't want long term is not a good thing, and you really should try your best to get out of that habit you have. It will take some time to get out of the habit, and I'm really hoping that these tips will help you if you're someone that overspends. Remember that setting goals and realizing what you truly need is the best thing to do, because if you can afford to pay your rent, food, shelter, everything that you need in that sense, and then focus on wants afterwards and prioritize them, then you're going to be better off than just overspending and buying whatever you want. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments if you are someone that overspends and if any of these tips helped, or you're already trying to implement these tips. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!